Happy New Year to everybody out there. That's right, it is New Year's resolution season. I'm going to give you the top 3 fishing resolutions that I know of and tips on how to help you achieve all 3 of those. Hopefully, you're sitting there watching this video and you don't have too bad of a hangover. And if you do, you're at the right place because this is where we're going to talk about fishing. We're going to think about fishing, and 2023 is going to be your year. So let's get going with these New Year's resolutions. The top 3 that I see and how to help you achieve those. Number 1 on most every angler's list. I'm going to go 3 to 1. Number 1 is almost on every angler's list. Number 2, believe it or not, is going to be on almost every angler's list. Number three is going to be winning a tournament. That's right. Not every bass angler wins a tournament or fishes tournaments. I get that. But if you do fish tournaments, there are a lot of anglers out there that have actually never won a sizable tournament. And you might have won like a 10-boat club tournament, something like that. This was me early on when I was a teenager, whatever. I had not won any bigger events. But then all of a sudden, like this year, won one of these before. This is the second Bassmaster win. Whether you're talking about winning on the Bassmaster level or winning on the local level where you're beating 20, 30, 40 other boats, other anglers, or more, it could be 100, 200 boats. It is really hard to win a tournament, a Bassmaster or a local level tournament. Really hard to do that. And if you're trying to force yourself to win a tournament, you find yourself doing things that are not going to be as productive to win a tournament. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of people think that, in order to win a tournament, I've got to throw power baits all the time, or I've got to throw huge swim baits, or the best way to win a tournament is on a jig. So they're just going to put that jig in their hand and not put it down. I can tell you more times than not, that mentality gets you burned, absolutely burned. You get out there for, an hour, 2-3 hours, and you don't have a bite, or maybe you only have 1-2 pounder. And in your mind, you're like, this isn't going to happen. This isn't it. This is not the way to do it. So if you just really paint yourself into a corner with one bait or with one mentality on how you're going to win this, you're like, man, I'm going to go to this back of this one creek and I'm going to stay there all day and I'm going to catch 25 pounds. It rarely happens like that. If it does, that's just going to be an add-on. But the guys that win tournaments, 10, 15 local tournaments in a year, that is not how they do it. They put it together. They'll catch 2 on this, they'll catch 2 on that, and then they catch their big one. Maybe they do catch a big one on a swim bait or a jig or something like that you traditionally would think. But man, don't be afraid to throw the shaky head. Don't be afraid to throw the drop shot. A lot of tournaments get won when you mix in some finesse tactics when the conditions dictate that. Probably caught half of my fish when I won this tournament in Florida, caught about half of them on a drop shot. So that's my case in point right there. Don't let old Blue over here fool you. So that's number 3. Hopefully some of those tips can help you win a tournament this year. That'd be fishing New Year's resolutions, number 3. Number 2, that's right. It's kind of like contradictory what I just talked about. Losing weight. A lot of anglers, for whatever reason, let themselves go. We're not as strict as they need to. Overindulged a little bit on the calorie department. They have 5, 10 or more pounds that they want to lose. I really work hard to try to keep myself in shape. I try to eat properly, try to work out properly. So the best thing that I can tell you is that there is no shortcuts and there is no secret diet that is going to help get you right to where you want to be immediately. To get to your fishing resolution weight, whatever that might be, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, you're going to have to develop new habits. That's your mentality. Develop new habits on the way you eat, portion control, and cut out any excess calories that are really unnecessary. You know, if you drink a regular Coca-Cola, maybe you want to put that Coca-Cola off. Get yourself a unsweet tea if you like that, or if you drink sweet tea, maybe you switch to unsweet tea. If you get 1 or 2 Cokes in a day, maybe you switch to Diet Cokes. Something to where you can sub out those calories, and all of a sudden over the course of the day, you're going to have 3, 5, 6, 800 calories less than you did in the previous day, and your average of your habit is going to be less calories. You're going to get closer to that ideal weight that you want to be at. You're going to lose those pounds. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion. The quick version. I could talk about this for an hour or more, but I'm just going to try to help you on this New Year's Day by giving you a quick tip there. I fish much better when I'm at a lighter weight. Right now I weigh about 155 pounds. I have weighed as much as 170 when I've been fishing tournaments, 165, 160. When I'm at 155, my endurance levels are much, much higher. I can fish all day and be a lot less fatigued at the end of a 12-hour day, 8-hour day, much less a 12 or a 14-hour fishing day. Much less fatigued when you're a little less on the weight department. It's a VO2 max. It's an extra weight hanging on you, all that kind of stuff. So by all means, you lose a few pounds, maybe you win a tournament a little more often. You like that? I tied those two together. I just did that. That was fun. All right, number one, catch a new PB. And if you don't know what PB is, that's okay. Personal best bass. You got largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass. Now, my personal best largemouth bass is an 11.2. I caught on the St. Johns River, not during this tournament, and a different tournament when we were down there. That is hands down my personal best largemouth bass. I would like to catch one bigger than that. A bucket list fish for me is absolutely a teener. I want to catch a 13 or bigger bass before I fall off the face of this earth, and that is just a huge deal for me. That is, like almost unattainable in Virginia. We don't have a lot of Florida strains. We don't have mini lakes with F1s, the Florida Northern largemouth mix, that can get bigger than the regular Northern largemouth. Are going to max out at about 10, maybe 11 pounds. So getting one of those teeners in Virginia might be a tough ask. So I'm probably going to have to go outside of the state. But I'm a little different. A lot of people, if you're trying to catch a new PB in your area, your PB is attainable. And if your PB is attainable, you need to try to put yourself, just like I was talking about I need to put myself in a place, in a position to be able to get that PB, that new PB largemouth. I'm going to probably have to leave the state of Virginia. I'm going to have to probably go further south, maybe Tennessee, maybe Alabama, probably more like a Georgia, Texas, Florida. Louisiana has some giants in some of those lakes down there, not all of them. Some of the lakes down there have some real big fish. Maybe I go to Arizona, California, somewhere like that is where I think that teener is absolutely going to be a possibility and not just a pipe dream. So if you are fishing in a lake where your PB may be, let's say, 6 pounds, you really don't know of any 7 or 8 pounders coming out of that lake, maybe you want to try a different body of water to try to attain that new PB. If your PB is 6 pounds and you've been fishing, Claytor Lake, or let's say, Bugs Island, you have some bigger fish in Bugs Island, absolutely, but there's just a lot of 4 or 5 and some 6 pounders in there. That's about your limit of what you're going to catch. Maybe you want to move over to like Smith Mountain Lake to try for your new PB. Maybe you want to go to another lake like Briery Creek, Sandy. It's those lakes that have produced 7, 8, and 9 pounders. Briery Creek, Sandy River. Move over to some of those other lakes if you're in Virginia that have produced those bigger fish. Put yourself on those bodies of water, and you don't necessarily have to, just throw mega giant baits. Go fishing in the lakes where those fish live and fish the conditions. It's kind of that same mentality as trying to win a tournament. You don't always. I caught an 8-pounder on a drop shot. It was like 8.2 the first day of the tournament on a drop shot. Don't have to throw massive baits. The conditions dictated the drop shot was going to be a better bait. I was fishing deeper. Water was clear, clear bluebird skies. The drop shot made more sense. That's what I should have thrown. That's what helped me win this tournament, catching an 8-pounder on the first day, plus, some other 5-pounders. But I caught those on a drop shot. That was the whole ticket, and the conditions dictated that. So go to a place to get your PB. To wrap it all up, go to a lake that can produce that and fish the conditions. If you get the conditions where you have some stained water, a lot of bait fish moving, maybe you get a little wind, overcast, throw the big baits. Go for it. Throw those big swim baits if you want to. That makes more sense. But if the conditions dictate more finesse approach, throw the finesse approach. A lot of big fish. I mean, I know of a lot of big fish at Smith Mountain Lake. I'm talking 8s and 9s that have been caught on finesse tactics because that was what the conditions dictated. So by all means, good luck to everybody out there in attaining whatever your New Year's fishing resolution is. And if you've made it all the way through this video, I appreciate you. Tip of the cap. Yeah, that's right. Whiskey Myers, baby. Tip of the cap to you. Hope you have a wonderful and beautiful 2023, and any fishing resolutions that you have, drop it down there in the comments as always.